So good morning everyone. Today we are going to see the next part of disaster management. In the last session already we discussed two types of disaster management and what are the main aspects of disaster management cycle. So now in this session we discuss about the Disaster Management Act 2005 and next one partition by Disaster Management Authority, the structure of a Disaster Management Authority, first aid and emergency action, and last one is what are the objectives of monitoring. So let's start today's session. First one is Disaster Management Act. So what is the role of a Disaster Management Act in the any disaster? तो किसी भी डिजास्टर में मैनेजमेंट का क्या रोल है, उस एक्ट का क्या मेन फंक्शन है, इसके बारे में हमें क्या है जान लेना है. The Disaster Management Act, which was passed in India in 2005, deals with the effective management of a disaster. For the effective management of a disaster, the government of India, which is passed डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट इन 2005, 2005 में भारत सरकार ने डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट को इफेक्टिव करने के लिए, उसमें सुधार लाने के लिए क्या हो तो एक्ट किया है. उसको हमें क्या कहना हो तो डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 2005. डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट which was passed in India in 2005 deals with the effective management of a disaster. For the effective management of a disaster, the government of India passed Disaster Management Act in 2005. So according to this act, an authority has been established from a national level to village for control and coordination of disaster management. According to this authority, government of India established from a national level to village level one authority. This authority control and coordination for a disaster management. Listen. Next now, so districts, taluka or village authorities are directly involved in search, rescue and the rehabilitation work. District, taluk and villages are directly involved participate in a search, rescue and the rehabilitation work in any disaster. As per this act, National Disaster Response Force (NDRF) has been established for responding appropriately to different types of a disaster. Now see, as per Disaster Management Act 2005, our government established NDRF for the responding appropriately to different types of a डिजास्टर. सो डिफरेंट टाइप्स के डिजास्टर्स को कंट्रोल करने के लिए, उसके ऊपर क्या बोलो तो रेस्क्यू करने के लिए, सर्च करने के लिए क्या होने का एनडीआरएफ की क्या होते का टीम क्या है रेडी की है. अंडरस्टैंड. नाउ सी दिस एक्ट व्हिच इज पास्ड इन फर्स्ट वन पॉइंट, एक्ट पास इन इंडिया, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट व्हिच इज पास्ड इन इंडिया, व्हिच इज पास्ड इन इंडिया in 2005. So deals with the effective management. ये इसलिए उसको ये क्या था वो तो deals with the effective management of disaster. Effective management of disasters. Effective management of disasters. So according to this act, an authority has been established. इस एक्ट के अनुसार एक अथॉरिटी क्या हो तो स्टैब्लिश की जरूरत है, इसके लिए फॉर कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन टू द डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट. Now see, an authority has been established according to this rule, this act, according to this act, an authority and authority has been established has been established has been established at government level at government level from from nation to village from nation to village. And next one, from a national level to village. Next one, district, taluka or village authorities are directly involved in district, taluka, village authority 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 authorities are directly involved in directly involved in search, rescue and rehabilitation work and rehabilitation work. And last one, as per this act, National Disaster Response Force NDRF has been established. So as per this act, NDRF has been established. NDRF has been established. So as per this act, the NDRF has been established for responding appropriately to different types of a disaster. Understand? This one is a Disaster Management Act, which was passed in 2005 for the effective management of a disaster. Understand? Now let's see what is the meaning of a Disaster Management Authority. Next one, now see what is meant by Disaster Management Authority. Disaster Management Authority. The next one, so already we discussed the Disaster Management Act of 2005. The authority established by the government from a national to village level to control and coordination the disaster management is known as Disaster Management Authority. Now see what is meant by Disaster Management Authority. The government established the authority established by the government from a national level to village level to control and coordination the disaster management is known as a disaster management authority. एक authority क्या बोलते establish किए से किसके माध्यम से with the help of government from a national level to the village level to control and coordination to the disaster management is called as the disaster management authority. So now write down. The authority established by the authority established by the authority established by government by the government by the government by the government from national level to from national to village level national to village level to control and coordinate the disaster management. Coordinate the disaster management is known as disaster management authority. Disaster management authority. Disaster management authority. So an authority is established by government from a national level to village level for the control and coordination to the disaster management is called as the disaster management authority. Now next see structure of a disaster management authority. Now see next one is a structure of disaster management authority. Explain the structure of disaster management authority. It's a very important question from the chapter. इस चैप्टर से एक क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. Explain the structure of disaster management authority. Next one, structure of disaster management authority. Disaster management authority. Now see, so already we know that according to the Disaster Management Act 2005, an authority has been established by government from a national level to government level to control and coordination to the disaster management. Now see, structure of a disaster management. तो डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटी का स्ट्रक्चर किस तरह से रहता है, उसको हमें किस तरह से एक्सप्लेन करना है, इसके बारे में हमें जान लेना है. नाउ सी द फर्स्ट वन फ्लो चार्ट. उसका हमें क्या करना है, फ्लो चार्ट ड्रा कर लेना है. फर्स्ट नाउ सी नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट. नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट. First one is the structure is national disaster management. National disaster management authority. So Prime Minister is a chairman of a National Disaster Management Authority. Now see next one. State Disaster Management. The chairman of a State Disaster Management is Chief Minister. State Disaster Management. State Disaster Management. The chairman of a State Disaster Management is Chief Minister. He is a Chief Minister. But next, now, District Disaster Management. At the district level, the district collector is responsible for the disaster. Now, district level, District Disaster Management. District Disaster Management. The chairman of a District Disaster Management Authority so district collector. Last now see Taluka Disaster Management Authority. Taluka Disaster Management Authority. Tahsildar is a chairman of a taluka level disaster. Tahsildar. Last one is village level committee village level committee. The chairman of village level committee is sarpanch. Now see, this one is the structure of disaster management authority. This one is the structure of a disaster management authority. At the national level, the Prime Minister is responsible for the disaster management, and state level, the Chief Minister was responsible for disaster management. Next one, so district level, so this collector is responsible for disaster management. Next one, taluka. At taluka level, Tahsildar is responsible for disaster management authority. And last one, village level committee, Sarpanch is responsible for disaster management authority. So at the district level, the district collector is responsible for disaster management and implementation of a rehabilitation scheme. So what is the role of a district collector in a disaster management authority? डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटी में डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर का क्या रोल है बोलो तो responsible for disaster management and implementation of a rehabilitation scheme. He is responsible for designing a scheme for each district with respect to each type of a disaster. Now see, he is responsible for designing the scheme for the district at the time of a disaster. Understand? So as per the Disaster Management Act 2005, the National Disaster NDRF has been established for the responding appropriately to different types of the disaster. So NDRF team is established for responding appropriately to different types of disaster. तो अलग अलग प्रकार के जो नैसर्गिक आपत्ति आती है उसको क्या है कंट्रोल करने के लिए सुधार करने के लिए क्या हो तो एनडीआरएफ कमेटी का क्या हो तो गठन हो चुका उसके ये वो क्या उसके ऊपर वर्क कर रहे थे. दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ अ disaster management authority. So now see, the next one concept of our chapter is first aid. Now see, what is first aid? First aid and emergency action. 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 Emergency action. First aid and emergency action. Now see, so what is meant by first aid? So first aid is the primary help given to victim. Now see, what the meaning of a first aid? So what is first aid? First aid is a primary help given to victim or injured person until full medical treatment is available. जब तक फुल मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल नहीं होते तब तक उसके ऊपर क्या करना हो तो ट्रीटमेंट देना, उसको हमें क्या करना बोलो तो फर्स्ट एड करना है. सो व्हाट इज फर्स्ट एड? नाउ सी, व्हाट इज फर्स्ट एड? नाउ सी, फर्स्ट एड इज द प्राइमरी हेल्प. First aid is the primary help given to a victim. So first aid क्या होता है? The primary help given to a victim or injured person or injured person or injured person until full medical treatment is available. So first aid is the primary help given to victim or injured person until फुल मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट इज अवेलेबल. जब तक फुल मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल नहीं होती है तब तक उस इंजर्ड पर्सन के ऊपर क्या होगा, ट्रीटमेंट करते रहना. उसका हमें क्या करना है, फर्स्ट एड करना है. Now see, so what are the necessary materials in the first aid box? तो फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स में कुछ नेसेसरी मटेरियल्स रहना क्या बोलो तो जरूरी है. So which necessary materials required in a first aid box? Now see, the necessary materials in a first aid. So next one question, the necessary materials in a first aid box. The necessary materials in फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स. फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स में कुछ नेसेसरी मटेरियल्स की हमें क्या हो तो जरूरत पड़ती है, ध्यान में रखिए. सो फर्स्ट एड किट इज a small box which contain items required for the administrating first aid to a victim of an accident or disaster. If any person is suffering from a disaster, so it require a primary treatment. So for this treatment we require first aid kit is a very small box which contain the items required for the treatment. Some of the important materials which should be included in the first aid kit. There are some important materials. So first one is a bandage strips of different sizes. First one material is bandage strips of different sizes. Own gauge, triangular and circular bandage. Own gauge, triangular and circular bandage, and circular bandage. Medicated cotton, hand gloves, clean dry cloth pieces, soaps, bandage. Next one, medicated cotton, hand gloves, clean and dry cloth pieces, soap, antiseptic, Dettol या Savlon, safety pins, blade, torch, scissor, thermometer, etc. So these materials are required in a first aid kit. तो फर्स्ट एड किट में ये मटेरियल्स क्या बहुत ही क्या है इंपॉर्टेंट है. दीज मटेरियल्स आर नेसेसरी इन अ फर्स्ट एड किट. तो फर्स्ट एड किट में ये मटेरियल्स रहना क्या हो तो बहुत ही क्या है जरूरी है. नाउ सी द लास्ट वन कंसेप्ट फॉर आवर चैप्टर. Last one is mock drill. So what is meant by mock drill? Next one is a mock drill. Last one is what are the objectives of a mock drill and what is the meaning of a mock drill. Last one concept is a mock drill. So what is the meaning of a mock drill? Now see, it is a practice to check the preparedness of facing the disaster as early as possible. So as early as possible to check the preparedness of facing the disaster is called as the mock drill. So mock drill क्या होता है? प्रैक्टिस है टू चेक द प्रिपेयर्डनेस, जो सज्जता है उसको हमें किस तरह से फेस करना है इसके बारे में जानने बोलो तो क्या बोलो तो मॉक ड्रिल है. सो इट इज अ प्रैक्टिस टू चेक द प्रिपेयर्डनेस ऑफ फेसिंग द डिजास्टर एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल. जितना जल्दी हो सकता है उतना जल्दी डिजास्टर को क्या करना हो तो फेस करने की जो हमारे में सज्जता रहती है उसको हमें क्या करना हो तो मॉक ड्रिल करना है. इट इज प्रैक्टिस. नाउ सी, it is a practice to check the preparedness of facing preparedness of facing the disaster as early as possible. This is called mock drill. Now see, what are the objectives of a mock drill? So what are the objectives of a mock drill? Next one, now see, objectives. What are the objectives of mock drill? So mock drill के क्या क्या objectives है इसके बारे में हमें जान लेना है. Now see, first one, evaluating the response to the disaster. First one is evaluating the response to the disaster. Evaluating the response to the disaster. So first one, evaluating the response to the disaster. Next one, improving the coordination between various departments of a disaster control. Next one, objective, improving the coordination between various departments of disaster control. Identification of own abilities. Now see, last one is identifying the possible errors and risk. So identifying the possible errors and risk. Errors and risk. So now, so what are the objectives of a mock drill? First one, evaluating the response to the disaster. Next one, improving the coordination between the various department and the disaster control. So now, improve the coordination between the various department and the disaster control. Next one, identification of own abilities to identify our own abilities. And last one is identify the possible errors and the risk. To identify the possible errors and the risk. So these are the objectives of a mock drill. Understand? So today's stop here. So in this session, we already discussed Disaster Management Act 2005. What is the meaning of a disaster management authority? Structure of a disaster management authority, and what are the functions of a disaster management authority? So what is meant by first aid? So which materials necessary in a first aid kit? And what is meant by mock drill? And what are the objectives of a mock drill? So today's stop here will be continue on next session.